Danny Schaefer. He's an idiot.
That's my wife's. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the DennyRadio podcast. It is episode number 8. And we're talking football today. SuperBowl, what is it? LIX. What is that? 50 something?
You're asking me to actually take one of those Roman numerals and translate that.
This is Rick Clare. He is from Fan Club Sports, a dear friend and brother from another mother.
That's right.
And we're having him on today to talk football and fun. But before we go too far down the road, we have to welcome a new sponsor who's also a dear friend. It is John Castillo Funeral Home. Take it away, John. Awesome. That video, of course, was it was made, edited, put together, produced, all of that by my social media director and my bride, Sharon. She did that video.
She's pretty good.
Like 5 minutes it took her. She's a beast.
Is she for hire?
Yes. Everyone has a price.
Everybody.
So thank you, Sharon. All right, Johnny Castillo, awesome human being. By the way, have you ever been to Castillo Funeral Home?
I try to stay away from funeral homes.
Well, you will be there one day because that is where I'm going to be resting for my funeral. We're having a big party and everything. So John is going to be the last person to see me naked on a slab when he embalms me. He's very excited about that.
I didn't think you could get worse than asking me if I'd been to a funeral home. Now I'm thinking of you naked, dead in a funeral home.
On a slab. John Castillo.
Places I don't want to be caught dead.
Right.
Unintended.
He's going to be the last one to see me naked before they cook me up.
Sorry, John.
Because it's cremation as well.
You should be getting free advertising for that.
You know, do you realize or do you remember that I lived in New Orleans for 3 years?
I do. I missed you every day you were there.
I was at 99.5 WRNO. We didn't know each other yet. God had other plans. Oh, hey, Chad, what's up? Sherry from McCravers. Any questions for us in the podcast, put them in the comment section. So I lived in NOLA. Well, worked in NOLA. Didn't live in NOLA because we couldn't afford the private schools.
Oh.
So we wanted to go somewhere they had really good public schools. So we lived on what's known as the North Shore every day, 38-minute commute over Lake Pontchartrain every day. 38 minutes one way. I used to leave my house at like 2:30. And I'm sorry? Okay. Instagram Live is not on. It shows here it's live. See us right there?
I could check.
She's watching. She says Sharon just kind of popped in.
She knows more than we.
Oh, there you go. Anyway.
You're good.
Well, it showed it on, but whatever. Sometimes it gets, fussy. So I'll be posting it up.
You're 72 years old. I don't know how you expect to be technically
That's true.
savvy.
So anyway, we lived in a beautiful neighborhood in Mandeville, Louisiana, and it was just a great 3 years and met some beautiful people. And we used to do this thing on weekends and sometimes weeknights. They introduced me to a little something in Louisiana that they do quite often and we don't do up here. It's called driveway drinking because there's no basements in Louisiana.
Right.
Nobody has basements. They're all on slabs. So everybody's garage would turn into man caves. And
Dude.
a dear friend of ours, Daniel Bradley, who, his family and the gentleman I'm about to introduce you, his boys, we were in Boy Scouts together with our kids, with Josh. And anyway, so we would, especially during football season when LSU was playing and LSU and baseball too, we'd go over to Daniel Bradley's house. This dude had a kegerator in there, huge screen TV. sit out there in the driveway and have a stogie or three and just, solve the world's problems. And Michael Bernard is one of my neighbors, lived a couple doors down from where we lived. And he would at some point grab his guitar and start singing, and people would join in. And it was so much fun.
I mean,
that's
wholesome. So we need to start that up here.
Well,
I love the idea.
We need somebody with some musical talent. So speaking of that, it's Michael Bernard live from Mandeville, Louisiana, aka New Orleans. Michael, welcome back to the show, or to the show.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here. You got me over here rolling. The thought of you naked on a slab, getting embalmed is what a great way to start. Right, Mike? What a great way to start the day, Denny.
Yeah. And by the way, are you? It looks like you're at your duck blind or your hunting cabin. Where are you?
That's kind of like it's my back patio, man. It's like we built this thing out with it's like cypress beam, and it's my version of a man cave. It's kind of like Daniel's got his driveway and he's got his garage, and I've got this, this man cave. It's called the Red Rooster. It's basically an outdoor bar, I guess.
Wow!
Put up there.
That's the real deal.
It's got all the beams set up, man. It's not exactly your standard duck blind. If it was, it'd be a pretty nice one.
I'll tell you what, that is pretty awesome. And I don't know when, but I am coming back down to Louisiana to hang with you boys. I was hoping to be there this weekend, and here's why.
Yeah.
If the Lions made it to the Super Bowl, I was coming. Whether I had a ticket or not, I was gonna reach out to John Georges and see if he could hook me up. He's kind of a big mover and shaker down there. I think he still own the newspaper?
Oh, he's one of them.
He's a big hitter. He used to be on my show when I was on RNO, and we had a great rapport and chemistry. Anyway, not to be. My Lions lost, so I'm not there. But I thought, it'd be fun. Actually, it was Sharon's idea. She goes, "Why don't you have some of the boys on from Louisiana to talk about the game?" And you came to mind at first because of your musical ability, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now, you've been through Super Bowls before. As a matter of fact, the last time the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, I was living there, and it was when they had the blackout, when it was the Harbaugh Bowl.
That's right.
Between the Ravens and the Niners. And so I remember that. I remember it was a big deal. Is it any different as far as this Super Bowl as opposed to the last one or others that you've lived through?
As far as, I think what makes things different, right, is how far we can come in technology from one time to another. So as far as, the nature of the way the city is, I guess you could say, festooned, not only for Mardi Gras, but for the Super Bowl, which coincidentally, Mardi Gras basically coincides with the Super Bowl, the time of year, right? So it's kind of like you get the double benefit if you're a tourist around Super Bowl time of seeing what New Orleans is like during Mardi Gras. In some cases, there's some parades around in the area. But what I meant by the technology is on Wednesday night, Kylie took Bo and a couple of his friends, and they went with some friends of hers to go down to the city, which on a Wednesday night, what a great time to go to the city. It's not as, not as busy. And they came back with these comments, and they sent some really good pictures. I wish I would have had the foresight to send them to you so you could see how beautiful this laser technology and LED technology made some of the most historical buildings in Louisiana, really, but in New Orleans in particular. Look, for example, St. Louis Cathedral was lit up with all of these great colors, and they were able to project laser images of paintings by local famous artists and things like that. And it really, really was a nice time. She said it really set the tone for not only Super Bowl visitors, but also for Mardi Gras visitors. So it's different in that regard, Denny. It's also she mentioned, which was pretty funny, is that she's never been on Bourbon Street when it smelled and looked so nice. There's extra cleanup efforts being done, to kind of, help the tourists really, really enjoy themselves and be more relaxed, and that's pretty much what I can tell you is different about this time maybe than last time.
Now, what about the security, especially around Bourbon Street?
Yep. Funny you should mention that. And I think, I think we all recognize that, that really, really tragic and sad event that happened on New Year's. Really, it was New Year's Day. It was 3:00 in the morning. There are people still out partying at 3:00 in the morning on Bourbon Street. And this fool decides that he's going to try to make some kind of a statement. And, and he did what he did. And as a result of that, there was a lot of concern obviously a lot of concern, which normally there shouldn't be, because New Orleans throws one of the biggest parties that the United States ever sees. From a crowd control perspective and a safety perspective, Mardi Gras doesn't have very much in the way of violent activity. It's mostly just sad, tragic accidents associated with people getting a little too close to the float, maybe, and stepping on a bead and rolling and slipping underneath the thing. But this year in particular, and I'm glad you brought that up, because just Wednesday night, while the family was off, on the South Shore checking out New Orleans, a good friend of mine who actually works with NFL security gave me this commemorative coin, and I'm going to kind of hold it up to the camera so you can see from a security perspective. These are all the security entities involved with the security during the Super Bowl and run up to it. So you can see there's state police. There's in the middle is NFL security, and then the other elements of New Orleans police departments and local sheriff's departments, and even some national federal agencies involved in the security of the Super Bowl. And of course, it's got the little licks on the back of it. It's pretty cool, actually. I'm really glad that he gave me that. And I'm glad you brought it up so I could kind of show off my little trinket right there. So I think that, from what we understand, leading up to the Super Bowl, the Superdome in general was basically cordoned off to where they could do repairs to the roads, set up security checkpoints, and all the different things that they needed to do in preparation, getting people into the dome to set up what they need to set up for the Superdome. I've always been aware that the security is incredibly heightened for the Super Bowl. So we were in the national championship game, and here's I got to give this up. When President Trump was there for the LSU game against the Clemson Tigers, we were at the game, and I can tell you, if the security is anywhere near what the security was for that, since the boss is going to be there, then everybody should just relax and enjoy themselves. It's really going to be a good time.
When's the last time?
Hopefully, the game is as good as the setup.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, and we'll get to that after you play a few songs for us. I'm not surprised, but it just makes me laugh every time I see your governor, Jeff Landry, on TV, and I just think of that because you know him, and you got invited, and you brought me, and I think Jeff did too, because he used to do my show when I was on down there, because I don't remember what parish he was parish president of, but I used to have him on with regularity, and we went to a gator hunt about 2 hours away from Mandeville, or an hour and a half away. We went to his cabin out in the middle of nowhere.
A good 2 hours away. Yeah.
And I remember you driving. We went to a gator hunt.
So again, those of us that have not lived down there, is this like go look for gators? Is this going to go say hello? Is this to trap them? Like, is this to eat them? Like, what's the end game here,
Mike?
Well, I'll say this: that the gator hunt that Jeff goes on is more just a party. I think what Denny is not saying is that Denny did not shoot an alligator.
Okay.
Nor did he get in a boat in pursuit of an alligator.
Okay.
Which would have made that trip a lot more enjoyable.
So you just head towards the gators with a briefcase full of party favors.
Well, I think if you've ever seen an episode of Swamp People, you kind of get the gist of it, right? It's basically like fishing. You fish for gators with things that gators like to eat, which is basically chicken, right? And you hang it from a hook, and the gators will come up and get it, and they'll get caught on the hook, and then you have to basically kill the gator. And you kill the gator for its hide, and you kill the gator for its meat. Right, there's certain parts of the gator where you can cut the meat off, and it's actually quite delicious. A lot of people say it tastes like chicken.
Oh, I've definitely had gator.
Oh, I have too.
I'm just trying to figure out, why did you move back? Why are you in Toledo when you can be? Like, good Lord, that sounds fun.
It was all part of God's plan, man. I tell you, our 3 years there, it was just awesome. We met so many great people. Our neighborhood still intact with the same people?
For the most part, yeah. I think, your house
and Carla, and that is everybody still there?
Carla and Tony's still there. Dave and Tracy moved. You should see where Dave and Tracy are. Of course, they set up pretty well where they're at. And for the most part, the Thomases are still here. Will and Lisa. You're going to get some like turnover in certain houses and everything like that, and it's actually pretty cool. But Gegenheimers are still here. The Bossies are still here. We still have a lot of fun in the neighborhood.
Yeah. So, Mike, I do have a question about this year's Super Bowl. So, being a musician yourself, do you know who's playing the Super Bowl halftime this year?
It's Kendrick Lamar, right?
Okay, it is. Yes, it is, and it's sort of something that I want to talk about. It might be a good lead up to some music. So Kendrick Lamar's playing, but what I found fascinating is that like the last 10, 15 years of performers have been like single performers or a group of performers. But if you go back, and I got to get my little notes here because this is pretty crazy.
You did show prep. I did
a little show prep. So if you go back all the way, I think it ended in the year 2000. 2002 was the last year that they actually did these like tributes to Motown. They did, let's see what else they have here. They did the Kings of Rock and Pop, where they had Aerosmith and NSYNC and Britney Spears and Mary J. Blige. Celebration of Soul, Motown, Blues Brothers bashes. They seem to be themed. Right. And so today I thought it would be very good is because you have such a huge reach that we should have pitched the NFL to do a Bayou Bash kind of a thing and have somebody like, Mike be like headlining instead of Kendrick Lamar. Because if we're down in Louisiana, I'm sorry, I would much rather be chasing alligators and listening to the Bayou stuff than Kendrick. Right. And I like Kendrick. So
I don't know a lot of his music, but I know he's well respected for his lyrics and the way he writes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm open-minded. Honestly, I'm becoming more non-traditional, and my music is changing my tastes. I love Shabuzi.
Well, yes.
Shabuzi. Yeah.
I mean, I was making fun of Shabuzi because he was, what was he, the halftime for the Lions or Thanksgiving Day or something? It was Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, Shabuzi. I didn't even know. And I was making fun. I hope he's not awful. And then all of a sudden he starts and I'm like, wait a minute.
He's a party, man. Awesome. An absolute party. I'm
a huge fan. Yeah, so really anyway, with that in mind, I'd like you to do one of your originals. And then if you wouldn't mind doing me a blues, New Orleans or Louisiana song as you fire up your guitar.
All right.
Are you on social media at all for your music?
Not at all. Not at all. Like I guess I got to get up to speed with all of that stuff. I try to, I got a baby step, Denny. Maybe I'll hire Sharon to help me out with that.
She's really good. But she's pricey.
Well, I will say this, with regards to the questions about, putting up some New Orleans into, Bo and I actually had that conversation, wondering, okay, well, New Orleans does definitely have a lot of famous musicians that come out of it. You know what I mean? Just, you can think of a couple of them off the top of your head. Certainly Harry Connick Jr. and John Batiste of, recent Grammy Award winner for Album of the Year. I mean, he beat Beyonce. He's one of many, but he beat Beyonce, let's say. But it would have been really, really cool to see New Orleans highlighted in that way. But hey, it's all about money, man.
And that's why I say that, because I think that we don't want to lose that. Like that's right. This is a great example of where, of course, everything about Kendrick Lamar is he's an amazing, artist and all that. But I do believe at this stage, especially in these areas like New Orleans, where you need to I want to hear New Orleans. I want this. I want to see Mike B on the stage.
Yeah, well, maybe not me, but it would be pretty cool to see, John Batiste and maybe Trombone Shorty going up there and join Kendrick Lamar for a couple of songs. I think that would be in really, really good taste. And I think that the style of music that Kendrick Lamar has playing behind his raps and his beats is very New Orleans, very, very jazz, you know. So I think Trombone Shorty and John Baptiste would really, really make a nice compliment.
Well, maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe that's where this is headed.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
All
So
right, what are you gonna do for us, Michael?
Well, like one of the I kind of gave myself a personal challenge last year to start writing more music and song a month type deal. And the first song I wrote was something that I knew was very near and dear to me. Is basically how I grew up in this little town called St. Martinville, Louisiana. It's a sugarcane farming community, very, very rural. And I think that, you know, if you've got a lot of listeners that maybe grew up in a rural community, maybe some of these things would be something that they recognize. Maybe. All right, so here it goes. Called Next Door Neighbor. Growing up in a small town in the middle of sugarcane fields, we were poor, but so was everybody else, looking to boost the yield. We played outside nearly every single day, barefoot and running free. And when we heard that 5 o'clock whistle, we came home to eat. My daddy bought a house plot on the highway at the edge of town, where people use it like a parking lot for a bar raised off the ground. A false staff beer quote sign hanging in the sky, and mashed down Schlitz cans where people park their ride. Well, my next door neighbor was a honky-tonk on Highway 31. A single window unit and a jukebox with some good old country on. There was Freddie Finn and Merle Haggard and a little bit of Charlie Pride. And Ernest Tubb and Hank Williams sang me lullaby. My mama'd give me $2 and send me into the night to get quarters for the cigarette machine and both B&H menthol lights. Listening to the sugarcane farmers complain about this and that, and fuss and yell about politics and why they where they're at. 2 quarters bought a game of pool on a table with a queen to the right. A bunch of wild turkey decanters, and the pisser was a trough with ice. Some pretty wormy taxidermy, an occasional barroom fight, and an old Jack's beer mirror made the place look bigger at night. Well, my next door neighbor was a honky-tonk Highway 31. A single window unit and a jukebox with some good old country on. There was Waylon and Willie and old George Jones and a little bit of Patsy Cline. And Ernest Tubb and Hank Williams sang a lullaby. There was Freddie Finn and Merle Haggard and a little bit of Charlie Pride. How about that?
Dude, you still got it, brother.
See, I'm telling you, that's what I'm talking about, right?
I mean, he has so many songs. How many songs have you written?
I'd say probably close to, right now, nearing approximately 25 or 30, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of the song a month, and I actually have one for you that's pretty timely. And you gave me a line earlier that I think that you have to we'll send you the notes on this. But based on a Mardi Gras parade, you need to write a song about somebody that partakes a little bit too much in the partying and steps on a bead.
Oh, yeah.
Stepping on a bead, I think it needs to be one of your next songs. So we'll send you some notes on that.
Stepping on a bead.
Stepping on a bead, baby.
And then we'll have you back on Fat Tuesday.
That sounds like a great plan. And so it basically what you're telling me is in a couple of weeks, I got to be able to write a song about being drunk and stepping on a bead.
That's what I'm basically
I like it. Hey, that's awesome.
Social media is a little trade-off, but
yeah,
I think Stepping on a Beat should be your next single.
We'll get it out there.
Stepping on a Beat. Thanks, Rick. That's a good one.
All right, my pleasure.
All right, give me because I know you're a working man and you got a lot of stuff to do.
All right.
Give me your favorite blues song about Louisiana, New Orleans, whatever you got.
All right, let's see. I'll do a song that we often hear in and around the New Orleans area. I don't know if it originated in New Orleans, but this is one of my, I guess you consider it a local favorite. I'm going up I'm going down. I'm going up, down, down, round. Any way you want me, let it roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, what you want me to do. Wake up early in the morning, fix you something to eat. Before I go to work, I even brush your teeth. I come home in the evening and you're still in bed. You got a rag tied around your head. Oh, baby, what you gonna do? Lord, I'm sick and tired fooling around with you. It's my last time telling you to change your ways. Last time telling you I mean what I say. My last time telling you to stop that jive. You gonna find your stuff outside. Oh, baby, what you gonna do? Lord, I'm sick and tired fooling around with you. I'm going up, I'm going down, I'm going up, down, down, round. Any way you want me, let it roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, what you want me to do.
Woo, yes.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
These are words I've never said in my entire life, but I'm going to say them now. I wish I could play harmonica.
Hey,
Oh, dude, that song is just ripe for some harmonica.
Oh, yeah.
hey, next time we get together, if we can arrange it, I got a real good buddy of mine I've been jamming with. He plays a Cajun squeeze box accordion, but he blows a pretty mean harp, man. He really does.
Okay.
Stepping on a bead, baby.
Yeah, we could do that. Coming soon from Mike Bernard.
Yep.
All right, a couple of comments. Hype Man Chad, love the song. Jeff Lamb, Denny, Mike is great, really likable, excellent show. So that's really nice to get some good feedback.
But thanks for that. That's real generous. I appreciate that.
All right,
really
you know
do.
what? We're going to go long today, just so you know. You're not going anywhere, are you? No, you got nothing.
You got
All
sandwiches coming later, right?
Yeah, we do. Catered. Sharon's up there making them right now. All right, Mike, let's do one more song. What you said that you doing some worship stuff? You want to from church? You want to do a worship song?
Well, I think I wrote a worship song. It's kind of like I went on a retreat, and I had some time to do some reflection about I don't know, Denny. You reach a certain age, and it just seems like I don't know, maybe the tires are spinning a little bit, but let's see if I can remember how it goes. Well, maybe not. I mean, it's funny, you write all these songs, and if you don't practice them enough, you kind of forget how they go. It goes. Getting old's not easy on the body, maybe worse on the mind. Carrying on in 100 degrees, can feel like torture defined. If it ain't hurt, it's tired, and the fire goes unlit. Can't feel good for trying, 'cause I want to quit. Then I feel a breeze, it dries the sweat from my brow, and it gives me what I need to know I can make it now. It's another sign, another way. He shows me that he cares, even when I forget about him. He's always there. He's always there. At work it can be brutal, and thank yous are hardly said. but I put my boots on every day to keep my family fed. Sometimes it seems pointless to put up with all the stuff. It's hard to be nice and helpful when I feel I've had enough. And somebody smiles and thanks God for me when they pray. And it gives me what I need to know I can make it today. It's another sign, another way. He shows me that he cares, even when I forget about him. He's always there. He's always there. When the world seems too crazy, out of control, and the pain that comes with living darkens my soul, I close my eyes and pray. Speak to me, Lord. Then he fills me with his grace, and life ain't so hard. It's another sign, another way. He shows me that he cares, even when I forget about him. He's always there.
Dude, wow. You got a gift, my man. You got a gift.
It's the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
The Holy Spirit. Thank you.
And here's the crazy thing. You know how you said you thought like you're at that stage where maybe it's not you in front of the mic or you behind the guitar, that you want to take your songs, have somebody else do them, and it sort of immortalize your art. That song, to me, I have the artist that we need to pitch that to. One of the hottest guys right now, and he actually is just starting to get into more of the worship stuff. He's doing a song with Brandon Lake called Hallelujah, Jelly Roll. That song is literally written. Ooh. And if I listen to it, I hear his struggle, as a man, with his faith, with his mistakes, and the minute you got in the heart of that is that literally came to me. So
yeah, funny you bring Jelly Roll up. I think he's got a song that's kind of like along those lines, songs of redemption.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And faith. I mean, the root of his is faith.
He's another one I love, but I never thought I would like somebody like that as I get older.
You got to get past the way he looks, Denny,
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for going on with us. And my best to Kylie and the boys and everybody in the hood. Give me a prediction for the game. Where are you going to be watching the game, first off?
In all likelihood, we'll be watching it here because unfortunately the next day is another work day, but you know how that goes. But we'll see, man. It's, something always comes up and we'll find something to do with it and it'll be fun. I asked Bo, I said, man, what do you think? Bo says, as much as I want to swallow my tongue to say it, it's really, really hard to pull against Kansas City because the deck sure seems stacked in their favor. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past I think the Eagles have a really, really strong defense. I really, really wish, Denny, that the Lions would have made it. We were rooting for the Lions. I mean, we had half of their talent on our fantasy team, and we came in third because David Montgomery went down towards the end of the season, right? Mm-hmm. And but Goff is, when he's on, he's tough to beat. And of course, Amon-Ra, that's one of Bo's favorite players, so it's a really, really good team. And but I think it worked out to where the Eagles, if the defense shows up and they can contain Mahomes, Kansas City's in for a tough game. And that's what I hope we really see, to be honest with you. I'd hate to see somebody run away with it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close game, and it's going to be fun to watch. And of course, I'd rather have the Lions there. But anyway, you're the best, my man. Let me know when you get what'd you call it? Stepping on a bead.
Stepping on a bead.
When you get it done, we'll have you back on. We'll have the worldwide debut performance of Stepping on a Bead with Mike Bernard.
I love it, man. Thanks for bringing me on, Denny. It's great to see you, brother. I love you. And Rick, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
You as well.
God bless you, my man.
God bless y'all.
See ya.
See ya, Mike.
He is the best. I'm telling you, what a just a blessing when I was down there you move down there, you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew the people I worked with in radio, but then, you move into this neighborhood and, just they welcome us, even though we're damn Yankees.
Right.
Because
they were really making fun of you at first as damn Yankees, but then their soul opens up and you're their best friend.
I don't know if it was Michael who said it or Daniel Bradley, because those two are probably the most I hung with when I was down there. We would always do stuff because our kids, our boys and stuff. And I remember, I think it was Daniel said, Schaefer, we like you. I mean, we really like you. He said, but you will never be one of us.
Right. Yeah,
you will always be a damn Yankee.
Damn Yankee, you will.
And I said, well, it's because you're bitter. You're bitter that, it didn't work out for you in the big one, in the big war. Anyway, so it was a lot of fun.
That's amazing. Well, speaking of the Super Bowl.
Okay, let's talk about
where
it.
Are you actually going to be? What are you going to do? Like, I don't think we've discussed what you're actually
going to do. I do have a couple of notes here I want to mention too, sports-wise, before we go too far, but I'll just tell you this. I'm judging a chili cook-off at the Sylvania Moose Lodge with my man Steve, that guy Kiker. He asked me if I'd come to the Moose. He's very active in the Moose. They raise money for charities. I mean, it's really...
I'm an elk. I understand.
Oh, you're an elk.
I'm another animal.
All right. So do the elk and the moose, do they get along?
We'd have to ask Rob Fairchild that, because
he's actually watching right now in Jamaica. He's in friggin' Jamaica, Rob. Get back here.
Yeah, go lay on a beach, you elk. No, but I'm the bad elk. I'm the guy that sort of, I go because they got, cheap food and they actually have machines.
Don't they have Keno and all that stuff?
No, like legitimate slot machines.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
I'm probably not the best representative to talk about who's better. I just know that I'm an elk.
Anyway, so I'll be over there. I don't know if I'm going to stay for the game. I kind of like watching it at the house because we got our catio, so I can go out at halftime and have a cigar, all of that. Where are you watching it?
I haven't got that far. That's Sunday, right?
Yeah, this Sunday. That's why you're on with me. Yeah. That's why you're on.
Okay. I don't know. I'm a homebody the older I get, so I'm probably going to make some appetizers, overeat, lay on the couch. I don't do well in B-dubs in my underwear.
Yeah.
They frown upon that. So when I overeat and I take my pants off, they usually ask me to leave. I don't understand.
All right. If you're just joining us, this is Rick Clare, Fan Club Sports, dear friend of mine. And I invited him to come on today. And as some news for your football team, college team, Ohio State.
All right.
Ryan Day led the Buckeyes to the Natty. $12.5 million a year. They agreed in principle to a 3-year extension. No, wait, the contract, if it's approved, will go through 2031. I'm sorry. That's a huge extension to 2031. It makes him the second highest paid coach in the country behind Georgia's Kirby Smart. He's 70-10 in 6 seasons, 8.875 winning percentage. That's first among active head coaches. He's 1-4 against Michigan. Your thoughts on him getting the big extension? Go.
Again, I always say that when you're analyzing stuff like that, everybody analyzes it with a different standard. So if you're an Ohio State fan where the standard is you beat Michigan or you don't coach, then of course you get what you got last year.
Right.
But if you look at the standard that I look at, which is overall coaching, development of players, like the boxes that actually matter, then of course you extend this guy. He is one of the best at what he does. Again, but that Michigan Ohio State thing brings about something that's very unique. It's like one of the greatest rivalries of all time. And with that comes some insane emotion. And not to mention a lot of money. Like that's the thing. And that's why the Ohio State fan base and the donors get so mad, is because that's where the money's at.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Ohio State runs the table next year. They come to the big house and somehow he loses again.
Yeah, he'll stay.
He'll stay, but how many people will be screaming for him to go?
Everyone, every one of those fans, of course.
How many? Give me a percentage of the fan base is one of those.
That's an impossible. Like I can tell you that those fans on the and I'll even say on the Ohio State side, as well as the Michigan side. Okay, there is a lunatic side of each of our fan bases. That's what is made us one of the greatest rivalries of all time. So I can't put a number to it. What I can tell you is that there are a lot of fans like me that are realists, that base the decisions on real things. And there's a bunch that are not going to be.
Right.
But you don't have a chance next year. So I don't even know why you're all worried about that.
Oh, there it is. There it is. He's getting cocky.
I had to get that. That's not cocky. That's just a prediction.
Premature heckling. Premature heckling.
Just
Just saying. That's Jinky Jinx. You just unleashed it.
And I do got to throw something out there just because I think it's important for your audience to understand this, because you did a really solid by me the other night.
By the way, I'm going to get to that. So hold off on that.
I'm going to hold my tongue on that.
Because I want to bring up the picture of us.
All right.
This also I saw today in the news. Former Toledo All-American Quinyon Mitchell.
Yes.
Finished second in voting in the AP NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year award.
Yep.
He's in the Super Bowl. Imagine that. Last year, he's playing for the freaking Rockets.
Right.
And this year, a year later, he's in the Super Bowl, which really makes Toledo look really good.
Well, if you look at the top,
took second place. Jaden Daniels got the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Of course, he lit up the Lions, but whatever. Your thoughts on Quinyon?
Yeah, I think it's a great stat, especially when you look at the top 10. I saw a stat this morning, top 11 or 10 universities and how many players they have in the Super Bowl this year. So of course you're like Alabama, top of the list, but in the bottom position on this top 10 is Toledo.
No way.
Because we have two players in, one of which nobody talks about.
Who's the other one?
I just lost it. Dallas Gant. Dallas Gant was an undrafted free agent, bounced around to a couple practice squads, ended up in Philadelphia, and is actually in and traveled with them and is down at the Super Bowl. So we have two, Dallas Gant, who I represented last year at Toledo, and we have Quinyon Mitchell, who I did not represent.
You didn't represent him?
Not Quinyon.
What about?
Would you think I'd be sitting here?
Yeah, probably not.
I would be doing this from my hotel.
So wait a minute. So Dallas Gant, didn't he start out at Ohio State?
He did.
Didn't he play at St. John's?
He did.
And he's in the freaking Super Bowl. How come that's not all over the blade?
That's exactly the problem, because short-sightedness.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I went when he played at was it St. John's?
Yeah, he played for St. John's. Yeah.
Played Bedford.
Yeah.
And I went to that game. And because part of the reason was I want to see him.
Yeah.
So I always, when I go to high school games, I stand on the sidelines because I'm a big damn deal. And I go up and down the sidelines. And when he would make a tackle, it sounded totally different than anybody else who made a tackle. There was such a pop. And it was like, this kid's going to Ohio State. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he's highly recruited. Beast. He was highly recruited to go to Ohio State. And I think what happens, and again, this happens in a lot of your big conferences, these players that are absolutely massive high school wise, they get there and they're one of 10. So I think at the time he was one of 8 linebackers and he just wasn't going to get the playing time. So what he does is he enters the portal like Judge Culpepper did from Penn State, comes to Toledo, who has, when it comes to football, an amazing program. You can get a look at the NFL through Toledo. And he was undrafted, had a really good pro day, undrafted, but yet was able to get his shot at a practice squad and ended up in Philly, and here he is.
All right, before I put the picture up and we talk about that for a minute, and then we'll get to the Super Bowl commercials, and then I'm going to play 2 commercials and we'll comment on those. What exactly, so everybody knows, what is Fan Club Sports?
Sure. So when we first started, we had a marketing agency, and then as the NIL took over, we sort of shifted all of our efforts into partnering businesses and brands with athletes. Over the last 2 years, we've grown to be a full service, sports agency. So we represent over 40 collegiate athletes in football and basketball. And we also have a handful of players that are playing pro ball. I have 3 guys in the NBA. We represent Judge Culpepper, who was on the practice squad down at Tampa Bay. And then we have Brandon Hawkins and Tyler Spezia, who play for the Walleye. So we have grown as a sports agency where we represent athletes. We handle their NIL, we handle their endorsements, we handle their on-court negotiations, we handle any of the transfer stuff, that kind of stuff.
All right, so here's a picture. This is from Wednesday night. This is at the Tunnel after the game.
Yes.
At Chrysler Center. Chrysler Arena, whatever you want to call it. Michigan and the Oregon Fighting Ducks, the Ducks. So this is Raheem Moss.
Yes.
The former MAC Player of the Year.
Correct.
Unbelievable. Saw him play many times as a Rocket. And then he went in the portal. He goes to Oregon.
Yes.
So they're in Ann Arbor, and you text me. He says, hey, want to go to the game? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to the game.
Yes, we did.
And tell everybody where we were sitting and all the rules I had to follow.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is sort of just, I'll throw my little tidbit since we just came off of what we do. This is a great example of where the portal works. Here's a kid who's probably not going to get a look at the NBA playing out of Toledo, but we get him in the portal. We get him to the Big Ten. You know, he was in the game that we played. I mean, he's not getting 30 minutes like he did in the MAC, but he's on the court. He's making a difference. So we go to the game, and I'm excited. You know, and I always have this reserve thing when I get free tickets from the team, because you could literally be nosebleed. And you know this, you've gotten free tickets your whole career. Yeah. You could be nosebleed and dabbing your nose, or you can have what happened to us where literally we're sitting on the court. And
he texted me a picture in the afternoon. He goes, oh my gosh, look at these seats. So I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, wow, row 2.
Yeah.
As in like row 2.
Yeah. I have a picture from ESPN that a buddy of mine took. So Dana Altman is standing. I think I sent it
That's
to
the
you.
coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Dana Altman standing there losing his crap. Raheem's on the court. So the picture is actually across looking at us. You see Raheem on the court. You see Dana. And then I'm sitting there like courtside. You're behind me.
You didn't send me that.
I did send it to you.
No, you didn't.
I did. Well,
all right. Well, I'll look while you're talking.
Yeah. So
tell
the problem.
Tell them how it went down, though.
Yeah. Here's the problem. So again, Denny, everybody that we're with, other than myself, is a Michigan fan. So that's why they came, because they wanted to come and watch the Michigan play the game. But unfortunately, our tickets were given to us by the coaches from the Oregon Ducks. So I, of course, say to Denny, hey, I don't mean to be this guy, but we can't be sitting behind the Duck bench
wearing Michigan blue,
stuff
Michigan
and
gear.
Stuff like that. And to his credit, and this is a lot of credit for you, to his credit, he had all his normal stuff on. You didn't. When the fighting songs came on, I heard a little bit of a hum, but you didn't.
No,
you didn't.
I had to hold it in. Jim Schock and I were huge Michigan fans. So I said, hey, Jimmy, you want to go to the Michigan game? I said, but you can't wear anything maize and blue. So Jim comes up with kind of a yellow pullover with a green shirt underneath it, which is Oregon's colors. And I'm wearing a black hoodie, and it's got white letters, and then it's got black around the letter, or green around the letters. So, of course, underneath it, I was wearing my Michigan gear, but you couldn't see it. I had my leather coat, and I have this really nice Michigan lapel pin that I think my son gave me. It's beautiful. Anyway, I had to take that off because I didn't want to,
And
I didn't want to offend anybody. Listen,
I was okay with that because underneath is okay.
Right, but you could have seen the lapel, the Michigan lapel thing. Yeah, and so I had a dad of the best player of Oregon in front of me.
Yes.
And the mom and dad of also one of their starters, their starting center, sitting behind me. And his name was Ken. I forget the bald guy in front of us, his name. But anyway, we're chatting it up, and they're like, so you from around here? I said, yeah. He goes, well, who are you here to see? And I'm like, big Raheem Moss fan, big fan. He goes, oh yeah, he played at Toledo. I said, yeah, that's where I used to watch him. That's why we're here. I didn't have the heart to tell him that my son's a junior at Michigan and go blue. But that's how, here's the thing. If we're being obnoxious and cheering and being idiots for Michigan right there with all the parents,
right,
here's what's going to happen. Someone's going to do some digging and find out who gave us those seats, and it's going to be on you, and you aren't ever going to get seats. So I'm I got to behave.
All that being said, what happened at the end of the game, though?
What did happen? I was on my best behavior.
You were, I was, which is rare for us to be the ones that are like not in the hairs of getting. What about point guard's dad?
Oh, it got ugly between him and some of the Michigans in the student section.
Yeah, I thought Denny would be the problem. He wasn't.
It was embarrassing. Honestly, the Michigan fans, there was just a couple. They were just idiots. As soon as they realized that, he was obviously, one of the parents, they were relentless, and they were just,
Well, But
I
again,
felt bad for him, and it was just stupid. And at one point, he almost went after him.
Well, that's the thing. So yes, they were kids. That's what they do.
They're stupid.
He lost his proverbial, you know what?
He did,
and almost went in. If it wasn't,
I know there was a security guy that grabbed
his butt and he pulled him back.
And I got out of the way because I'm like, my knees hurt too much for this crap.
Down. But no, I just sent you that picture.
Oh,
that
okay.
was on ESPN. And it's funny because we can see, I think, your left breast. Jim's right there. So if you click on that, you'll see the ESPN shot from across the court.
Yeah.
And then you got the ref. And then if you look just beyond the ref.
Yeah, you can see it's a really good shot of you and Jim.
Yeah. I think you can see your breast.
Let me see. I would have had this thing ready.
Sorry.
Anyway.
There's Jimmy in the yellow.
Jimmy's in yellow.
Me with the with the backwards hat there.
And then the guy in the white hoodie was standing up in front of me the entire freaking game, and my knee was throbbing. Finally, I said, "Screw it!" I just stood up, so I'm right over his right shoulder. But man, being that close, watching the game, and it was like when Michigan, when they would do something awesome, and you can't cheer because I didn't want to get Rick in trouble. So I would just look at Jim and I'd go, we'd make faces like, because we weren't cheering.
No, you did an amazing job. And again, this is the other side of it which is phenomenal game. I mean, of course, Michigan ends up pulling it off by 2 points.
It was a close game. It could have went either way.
Yeah. And I will tell you that one of the things that it's been a long time since I've sat courtside like that, but the action between, say, the MAC and the action in the Big Ten is night and day.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy, the intensity.
Oh,
if you're a MAC fan, you have to go to a Big Ten game. Go to Michigan State's playing Oregon on Saturday. Go to that tomorrow. It is a different pace of a game.
Well, and the thing is it's packed with people. Like you go to a Rocket game or you go to the Stro to see BG. There's like 3,000-4,000 people there. It's like, but man, you go to there was probably 7,000-8,000. It was probably 3/4 full.
Oh, well more than 3/4 and intense.
Oh, it was.
That fan base and those kids were like, I was laughing because again, I'm an Ohio State fan, but I could appreciate 3,000-4,000 college kids losing their mind. And the way they have it set up is sort of cool. They have the higher stands for the normal people, and they put the student section around the court, which is brilliant because you want to talk about intimidation.
Oh yeah.
Like it's there, and they rocked.
They did.
They rocked it.
Yeah, but they were stupid too. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Rob Fairchild correcting us. You guys are forgetting Kareem Hunt, starting running back for Kansas City, played for the Rockets.
Kareem Hunt. They didn't have him on the list, Rob. So
he's Kareem Hunt. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's been gone from Toledo for a long time,
but he still should be on the list.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Rob.
And he's doing good there too.
Put on some more sunblock, my man. Don't want that bald head of yours.
Or a shirt so you don't scare people down in Jamaica.
And when you get back, got to go to Angelo's and soon because my knee surgery is Thursday. So
I don't know when
I think he's back tomorrow, isn't he?
I don't know.
Anyway, Rob, safe travels, you and Michelle. All right, you want to look at a couple of Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's the best part of the Super Bowl, to be honest.
All right, here we go. Let's see.
So these are we haven't watched these.
I have not watched these.
Okay.
So this is, hold on, let me, I got to do this. And then I got to hit play. So this is, they're redoing the Meg Ryan, Billy Crystal, When Harry Met Sally orgasm scene for Hellman's Mayonnaise with Sydney Sweeney. That's what it says here. So let me just play it. And
all right,
because for a lot of people, and the commercials are pretty awesome. So here we go.
We'll find out here.
Here we go.
Oh.
Nobody remembers.
No.
Something wrong?
No. Nothing.
Okay. Happening. Here we go.
God. Oh. Oh.
Lunch and a show. Oh, how about that?
That is a sandwich. Oh, but she's not.
Competing with a condom.
That is funny. That is good work
That's
right
old
there.
school.
That
That's
is.
like old school kind of like Super Bowl. Because they've been
Yeah.
pretty PC lately.
Yeah,
And it's not, that's funny.
that is funny.
That is good.
All right,
I love some McConaughey.
here he is for, I don't know who he's for.
All right, we'll find out here. This is
All right, sports fans, it's Super Bowl time. Super Bowl LIX. Exactly. Now, what's with all the Roman numerals? We're not in Rome. I'm not wearing a toga, he is, but I tell you what's with the Roman numerals. LIX. Sound it out. Licks. Yeah, licks. They are literally telling us to lick our lips to buy their savory snacks. Catch this. The Super Bowl is being played in a stadium named after America's favorite salad, Caesar's. Because we watch the game, don't mean we ain't being played, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
hey, what's Jerry eating?
Jerry's eating rice.
Jerry's eating. Matthew McConaughey is becoming one of the funniest commercial guys out of nowhere. Like what is that? Uber? Is it Eats? What is it? Uber Eats?
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats. Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
good stuff. And then there'll be tons of others, and we could go on, but we're not going to. All right.
That's amazing.
People are focused, of course, on football and the game, but there are some people that, and I believe this is a prop bet. Prop bets are bets on just weird things like flipping of the coin, where it's going to land, different things like who's going to score the first touchdown, anyway, and other stuff that don't necessarily have anything to do with the game, like this one. One of the things that's getting a lot of attention is, will Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce get engaged after the game if Kansas City wins? They actually did a survey, according to a new survey of 1,000 football fans who plan to watch the Super Bowl. 70% think Travis will pop the question after the game. Another 24% believe he'll only propose if the Chiefs win. Betting platforms aren't as optimistic. FanDuel says 11.76% that he will ask Taylor to marry him on the field after the game. So you can bet on this sort of stuff. Okay, Rick, will they get engaged if the Chiefs win? Go.
So here's the easiest way for me to get out of answering this question, because I can't stand the storyline.
You don't like Taylor Swift.
I do not. Like on the top level,
does not
on
like
the
her.
top, like on the top level of do not likes is
He's a Christian man, and I've heard him say things about Taylor Swift. I'm like,
I embarrass myself.
I'm like, Jesus can hear you, right?
Yes. Well, Jesus is not her fan either.
No?
He told me. Yeah,
Okay.
he's not a fan. So here's how I get around this without answering it.
Okay.
As a licensed sport agent, I cannot get into, nor am I allowed to bet. So it's against the law for me to actually have a conversation in regards to any kind of bet.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm gonna just steer clear, and I will leave you with this. This is the only thing I have to say about that.
What?
Ready?
Yep. There you go.
What I think.
There, spell that out. Closed captions. All right.
Next.
All right. Who's going to win the game? Give me your thoughts.
I'm not a hater of KC. I think that this whole conspiracy theory thing going around with the NFL is, I just laugh. I could care less about winning. Is it their third? I can care less about the
3 in a
stats.
row. That's huge, dude.
I mean, it is.
That'd be his fourth.
Yeah.
Mahomes, Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes, fourth.
I truly would like to see, if nothing else, for Quinion and Dallas, Philadelphia. And I do agree with Mike. I do think that the teams that shows up defensively, like Philly's going to have to show up defensively to shut Mahomes and them down. If they do that right, they will win.
Right.
If they don't do that, then Mahomes will pick them apart. That will happen.
Yeah. I think Kansas City is squeaked by a lot of games they shouldn't have won,
Right.
and I think their luck runs out.
Okay.
I think Philly's
Like close game or
I think it'll be close.
Okay.
And it won't surprise me if it's a blowout Philly over KC. I'll be shocked if it's a blowout KC over Philly.
So I have two predictions. One, I think that I'm if I was to bet, I would bet 7 points win by
Philly.
Philadelphia. But my gut instinct, and I'm just going to go on the record, is Harrison Butker is going to kick a 3-pointer to win the game at the last second. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm not feeling as far as a score or any of that, but
It's going
I
to be
think
that close, 3 points, and I think it's going to.
I'm okay with that because one, I don't have to get up to go on the air the next morning. Yay! But Sharon and I will have a podcast on Monday at noon talking about Super Bowl and the commercials and all of that. I think Kansas City's luck runs out. I just think it's so hard to win 3 in a row.
It is.
And they've gotten really lucky with how many times they've, pulled it. Well, every time it's a 1-score game, they win.
Right.
So, but I just think Philly I think they're on a mission, although I'm not really a Philly fan. I do like Kareem Hunt. It would be great for him to get a ring. It's not going to bother me if Kansas City wins. A lot of people was like, oh, remember when Buffalo was in for 4 straight years and lost?
Yeah.
And it was like the Vikings when they were in for well, I don't think it was 4 straight, but they would get and be like, oh my gosh. I don't have Kansas City burnout like a lot of people do.
Right.
I love watching greatness.
Right.
And Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest. He's the greatest mobile quarterback ever.
Like him or not like him,
He's amazing.
He creates stuff that nobody thinks about, let alone can do.
And when he's hurt, he still gets out there and plays when he's all beat up. So it won't surprise me if they win. But
he's
I
also
think
a girl and he lets you know it. So that's the stuff I don't like.
He's
a girl.
Dude, he's tough. He's tough. Anyway, so I think Philly's going to win. I'm just looking forward to an awesome game.
Yeah, I think it will be.
There you go.
Some good snacks, some good commercials, good game. That's a good Sunday.
All right. Sean Zilla, the Eagles should win. Tired of the Chiefs winning. Praying for you through your upcoming surgery. Thank you, Sean Zilla. Yeah, surgery next Thursday. My knee's been giving me fits. I can't wait. All right. Thank you, John Castillo. You are awesome. Thank you for being our sponsor. We'll be on Monday, like I said, with Sharon, and we'll be getting after. We'll be talking about Super Bowl and whatever else. Thank you, Michael Bernard.
Man, love
Wasn't that great? We could have done a whole hour with him.
Yes.
And we may when he gets his new single inspired by Ric Flair.
Fat Tuesday. We need to release his single. We got to stay on.
If he
get him on, and he can do it.
You got any connections to Jelly Roll?
Yeah, the ones at Dunkin' Donuts.
Anyway, thank you for watching and share if you care, and have a blessed weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Denny Schaefer. He's an idiot.